Russian Orishnik missile. This will reach the capital, Paris, in just 8 minutes. Paris will disappear from the map in 8 minutes. We're talking here about a science fiction scenario. This is not a media threat either. This is exactly the message that Russia sent yesterday to all Europeans. Back off, or your fate will be the same as what happened yesterday in Ukraine. What exactly happened? How did the Russian message come? This is our topic today. Stay with us. Dear viewers, peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings. Welcome to our renewed meeting today, God willing, in this episode of the Opinion Series. A few days ago, dear viewers, we witnessed the serious Ukrainian attack that targeted the residence of Russian President Vladimir Putin in the Novgorod region. The attack was carried out using 91 drones. And of course, everyone was waiting for the Russian response, because as I mentioned in previous episodes, Zelensky keeps crossing red lines gradually, every time he crosses a new red line. Therefore, each time he gives Russia enough justification or excuse to respond in kind. And the Russian response in kind is a harsh one. Their response is very severe, something neither Ukraine nor the Ukrainian people can bear. This response came exactly yesterday, because yesterday there was a very harsh retaliatory strike. The Russian army struck vital infrastructure facilities in Ukraine, to the extent that life in the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, has become impossible, and to the extent that officials in Kyiv have asked residents to evacuate the capital and move to other areas in Ukraine. That's a serious request. This Russian attack targeted vital sites with high-precision weapons. What are these weapons? What are the most important of these weapons? The Iranian Shahed drones, the Russian version which they call Geran-2 in Russia, and most importantly, the Oreshnik hypersonic missiles. So what exactly are Russia's targets if we review them? First, we find the factories producing Ukrainian drones, specifically the drones that Ukraine used in the attack on Russian President Putin's headquarters. This means it's a message from Russia, a firm response from Russia. You attack the president's headquarters with these drones, so we will strike the factories of these exact drones. Also, among the targets that Russia struck, we find energy facilities, the energy facilities that supply power to the complex. The military industry of Ukraine, with the same goal, means cutting off power to these military factories that produce the drones and weapons that were used in the attacks or targeted. The residence of President Putin, we also find among the targets. There was an underground gas storage facility, energy facilities in the Lviv region on the Polish border. This facility provided 50% of Ukraine's gas needs, meaning 50% of Ukraine's gas storage capacity was hit. This means that Ukraine will now have to rely on half of its needs from abroad, from Europe. In case this attack really did hit this gas storage facility, why am I saying this? Because there are other reports that leaked today saying that the strike in Lviv did not target this gas storage facility, but rather targeted a secret facility where Ukrainian aircraft are being repaired. And here, pay close attention. Whatever this attack was, of course, whatever it was, the goal is the same. Targeting this facility so close to the Polish border carries a very significant symbolic meaning. It's as if it's a message that says the ally is a partner and that the heart of Europe will be struck if Russia wants to. Also, pay close attention to the fact that these attacks targeted facilities that are known to have very strong protection from air defense systems. These are vital facilities, some of the most important sites in Ukraine, meaning they have strong protection from Western air defense systems. Despite that, the targeting was very successful. Why? Because Russia used Orishnik hypersonic missiles here. Also, this attack that targeted the capital, how was it not only with these missiles, the Orishnik missiles? The cost, as we discussed, as we explained in previous episodes, was also in the hundreds of Iranian suicide drones. The original Shahed drones, where all public facilities in Kyiv were targeted. As a result, this led to power outages, water outages, and also gas outages in many homes and neighborhoods. Some reports said that the number reaches about 2 million people, meaning 2 million individuals. How did they end up without electricity, without water, and without heating gas? How did the mayor of Kyiv get out? In the statement, he said that this attack is the strongest ever since the beginning of this war. In terms of the direct targeting of vital infrastructure, this attack is absolutely the strongest ever. And that's what made them ask the residents today to leave the capital, Kyiv, to the more stable areas. The American newspaper The Washington Post wrote an article saying that this strike serves as a reminder to the world, or as a warning to the entire world, a warning about the enormous nuclear capabilities that Russia possesses today. Because just so everyone knows, these Orishnik missiles are capable of carrying nuclear warheads, and these missiles are hypersonic, meaning they can surpass all air defense systems, no matter what they are. So what if the strike carried nuclear warheads? And what if this strike targeted one of the European capitals? Paris, London, Berlin, or elsewhere? The American newspaper The New York Times said that intercepting these Orishnik missiles is impossible. Absolutely impossible. It said that the strength of this missile is that it is launched directly into the atmosphere, then descends on the target at a very high speed. It doesn't leave any chance for any air defense system to detect or intercept this Hoshu at all. Where is the SAIN network? The American network also said that the danger of this missile is that it is capable of operating even in freezing temperatures. That means in freezing areas, the fuel used in it doesn't freeze and doesn't lose its efficiency at all. Its guidance systems don't malfunction at all in extreme cold, because most missiles suffer from these problems. They suffer from very serious problems when used in freezing areas. They have slow ignition, guidance errors that make them inaccurate, electronic malfunctions, and so on, because of the extreme cold. But this missile, Oreshnik, works in freezing temperatures, which means it's the strongest ever today, and it means it's capable of being deployed in the Arctic region. This poses the greatest threat to America today. This is what makes America avoid getting involved in any war against Russia. This is what makes America today plan to take control of Greenland before Russia does. If the major war starts and these missiles begin to threaten American territory, meaning they're deployed over Greenland, in general, these are very powerful missiles. It was a huge turning point when Russia revealed them a few months ago, and the Russian response came in this way, with the Oreshnik missiles, with these missiles. But some today might see that this Russian response does not at all rise to the level of a direct attack on President Putin's headquarters. Some will say that Ukraine directly targeted the life of President Putin, so Russia was also supposed to target Zelensky's life as well. So here we have to answer an important question. What would Russia gain if it bombed Zelensky's residence? And this response would only be symbolic. Did you strike or target Putin's presidential residence? We also targeted Zelensky's residence. Russia will appear to actually be capable of striking palaces and presidential residences, to hit the target accurately. But will this benefit them militarily? Will this benefit them strategically, politically? Not at all. So the Russian response here, in fact, was very smart. Why? Because they took advantage of the opportunity. They took advantage of the pretext that Zelensky gave them and targeted things that add an important point of progress for the Russian army in this war. Today, even the issue of assassinating Zelensky now is not a good idea for Russia. Assassinating Zelensky would turn him into a national hero in Ukraine and across Europe. At that point, instead of Zelensky remaining a marginalized figure, a clown, a puppet, someone who has become rejected even from within Ukraine, he would then become a national hero. Russia absolutely does not want this. They know very well that political decisions do not come from Zelensky, but from Europe, from the heart of Europe. Russia knows that he is weak, living his last days in Ukraine, and at any moment he could flee abroad. Therefore, Putin will not give him this opportunity to become a hero. The end of Zelensky is a foregone conclusion for the Russians, and it will be a disastrous end, but not in this way. It will definitely happen after he flees Ukraine, because the Russians know exactly what they are doing. That's why the Russian response was very smart. It wasn't an impulsive reaction at all. Rather, it was a rational response. Russia benefits from it militarily. Russia benefits from it strategically, and through it sends strong political messages as well. Messages to France, to Europe, which is now talking about sending troops to Ukraine. That's why I'll show you again this image that's now widely circulating on social media, because it might summarize the Russians' message, and therefore it will have a very significant impact. Do you see this image? The image shows the amount of time it would take for the Orishnik missile to strike European capitals. Keep in mind a very important point. These Orishnik missiles are now deployed in Belarus, on Belarusian territory. So if the missile is launched from the Brest region in Belarus, this missile will strike the capital of Lithuania, one of the countries of the Baltics. It will strike the capital of Lithuania, Vilnius, in less than 2 minutes. I mean, just imagine the speed. It will strike one of NATO's bases in Poland in 3 minutes, and it will hit the Finnish capital, Helsinki, in 5 minutes. It will strike NATO's Ramstein base in Germany in 6 minutes. It will strike the French capital, Paris, in 8 minutes, and then also London in less than 9 minutes. And these missiles will be equipped with nuclear warheads, not conventional ones. This is what Russia is openly saying. Any war with Europe will be a nuclear war. It will not be like the war in Ukraine today. But the question always remains, is Europe really able to understand this message? Or is the situation, does it mean it's settled and there's no way to avoid the outbreak of a major war? Has the decision already been made? Please answer us. In the comments below this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Peace be upon you, and God's mercy and blessings. See you next time.